Blessings and greetings, greetings and blessings, blessed souls. We're alive because we want to stay alive. In Torah Chaim, instructions of life. Torah Chesed, instructions of kindness. Torah Rachamim. We're going to start, which I intend, will be a stimulating investigation into two very important books. And one of those books, there's mentioning of another book. You'll see where I'm going with in a second. But anyway, these humble efforts I hope to submit for your perusal are actually specifically intended for a closed group, Tanach and Talmud discussion for greater understanding, which was originated by S.K. Stephen Ariel, and it was to foster discussions among Jewish people. Of course, no are welcome to participate and to learn from these things, because not only can they eventually be empowered to learn the 7 hard commandments, but also to understand the virtues of Yisrael. And our virtues are embedded within the Torah, and the Torah is embedded in the Most High. And therefore, we humbly suggest to all human beings to find out their virtues as they are embedded in the Torah, because when the Most High looked into the Torah, He created the world. This is from the Kabbalistic Zohar teachings, and when people look into Torah, they help maintain the world. So, I want to show you what I'm gleaning from. This is Sefer HaMitzvotes from Rambam, where he delineates all 613 commandments and distinguishes in his preface what are the strictly scriptural commandments, more than just the 10 commandments, as unfortunately too many people in the world think there are only 10 commandments. And he explains in a very terse fashion those commandments. And also from another seminal work, Sefer HaChinuch, by Rabbi Aahoron Levie. Now I believe both books, Sefer HaChinuch, here it is again, and Sefer HaMitzvotes by Rambam, for sure Sefer HaMitzvotes are translated into English, and I think Sefer HaChinuch is as well. So we're going to start off with the preface. We're going to go very slowly. We'll take, Hashem, please bless me to participate in this great merit, to engage people in dialogue of what Torah and mitzvahs are, specifically the enumeration of the 613, that we're going to go slowly, but hopefully we'll encourage you, blessed soul, to want to do more research on your own, not just rely on me, because true Torah study is when you go into it yourself, the teachings, not just hearing. Hearing's important from other people who can help you and guide you, but the main thing is to learn for yourself, in order that you can do what the Torah says, to strengthen your connection with the Most High and other human beings. So starting off, we see in the preface to Rambam's Sefer HaMitzvotes that he mentions that actually there was another work that he had written and it had become known, which is another book I have the opportunity to share with you and promote its learning, because it's not just printed in Hebrew, Aramaic, it's printed in English. It's called Pirush HaRambam La'avos, or also known as the Shemoneh Perakim, the 10 chapters of the Rambam, which gives a person a certain mindset how to learn Pirkei Avos, which are known as the ethics of the fathers. So the Rambam writes here that his intention was, in this book, which also goes into the nature of the human soul, which I think a lot of people want to learn about, was that to contract in a very terse way each and every teaching within the Mishnah. Now, the Mishnah meaning the Pirkei Avos, and eventually the mindset that one generates and can internalize from reading Shemoneh Perakim of Rambam, his Pirush on the Pirkei Avos, also is a fine way to engage in the as a preparation. Also, it's not required, but also can be used as a preparation for learning the rest of Rambam's Mishnah Torah, which any human being can learn. And basically, the Rambam says this was the method that he used for the putting together of the Mishnah Torah. And also, you can see when you learn the Sefer HaMitzvotes, this is the style as well. And the idea was to gather all the laws of Mishnah Torah. But in order to basically have those gathering in of all the laws of the Mishnah Torah, you have to have the source of the halachas, which are all embedded in the mitzvahs. So that's just a little brief starting where we'll start. And again, you can learn about these teachings by the Rambam himself, and you can go much deeper into it than I can ever offer to you. Now, in the beginning of Sefer HaChinuch, it's amazing the humility of Rabbi Aahoron Levie, how he starts off saying that a person might consider, who's looking into this book, that the one who put it together did it from his great toiling and analysis into the words of the Tanoim, which were rabbinical sages, and Amoraim, also rabbinical sages, whose teachings of elucidations, oral Torah, are found in the classic works of the Mishnah by the Tanaim, and the Amoraim are incorporated into the teachings of the Talmud. And basically, he, in a sense, is machtin himself. He makes himself small, not to consider himself to be an out-and-out genius of the oral tradition. But obviously, Rabbi Aahoron Levie, whose book has been accepted by the masses of the generations of learners of Torah and teachers of Torah, have accepted his work as a kosher presentation of the enumeration of the mitzvahs. But he mentions here that that basically the majority of the words of this book, which is Sefer HaChinuch, literally the book of education, were taken from the books which are considered to be the Amudi Haaretz, Mefursamim, B'mayla B'chachma B'chol Goyim, that he basically took from works that preceded him, which are considered to be the pillars of the earth and have been broadcast into the world, and even not only in the eyes of the nation of Israel, but as it's also reckoned by the nations of the world as to be outstanding works. Primarily the works of Rabbi Yitzhak Alfasi, who I think also is known as the Rif, and of course Harav Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon. So basically, Rabbi Aahoron Levie, who for sure had to glean from the Talmudic teachings and all the oral traditions, also was relying on his particular enumeration of the commandments based on the teachings as well of the Rif and the Rambam. So we'll stop here, blessed souls. There's so much information packed here. I mean, there's over 600, 700, 800, almost 900 pages of teachings from Rabbi Aahoron Levie, 896, and the Rambam Sefer HaMitzvotes in this Hebrew version that I have is over 546. So we're talking about 1,400 pages, and hopefully we're going to go into also a little bit, which I think is important, the Pirush Rambam on Avos. Let's just end on this note. I think maybe we'll conclude each session with the blessings of Hashem, with a teaching from the Rambam, who states that a person who wants to be pious has to apply the teachings of Avot, which is from Baba Kama, chapter 30, side A. Because there is no greater attribute than piety, which is basically midas chasidus, except for prophecy. And in fact, the idea, the attribute of being chasid leads to nevuah. As our sages have said, that piety leads to the spirit of Ruach HaKodesh, and the Rambam says that the teachings of this, the ethical teachings of this book that he worked on, will assist a person eventually to ascend to nevuah, to prophecy. And the Rambam says, I'm going to explain the truth of these matters. So we have a couple of things here, blessed souls. We have the Rambam's enumeration of mitzvahs and his preface. We have Rabbi Aahoron Levie's enumeration. Of course, we have the Rambam in his seminal work, Pirush Rambam La'avos, which would hopefully prepare a person eventually to have prophetic insight into the Torah. And we know all the Torah is a matter of prophecy from the prophet Moshe Rabbeinu.